Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Jameson Hutchison here to do some more Underdog best ball drafts. We're going to hop into the Hound Dog 2. It seems like one of the new contests that they've put up that should be filling here. So 20K to first place, 18,000, I think 600 entrants. So we'll have a little fun with this one. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We've got some training news talk. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt their groin. We've got some big news coming out. Jaden Higgins tore his ACL. So we'll get through all the training camp news and notes. We'll do two of these drafts. So we'll do this one. And then for the next one, if anybody wants to hop in afterwards, I'll get everybody invited. We can make it happen. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Be drafting out of the 4-hole tonight. So see what kind of falls. Had Joel Worth on yesterday, and we did the DraftKings draft and had some wildness in the first round. So I don't expect anything crazy to happen over here compared to what happens over there on DraftKings. But we'll go through some of this stuff because news is changing. We've got probably less than 4 weeks from week one, and just a lot of news, a lot of notes, a lot of injuries right now. Just trying to decipher some of the stuff, if it's serious, if it's not. We'll get through all that and talk through it. So if you guys got anything, drop it in the chat. I'd be happy to work through some of the stuff. I know a lot of people been hopping in, asking redraft questions. I'd be happy to take care of those. And then just any, if, ands, or buts going through this season. So be on the clock here shortly. Get Jamar Chase, I'll go Puka. Nothing too crazy. We had Puka Nakua over on DraftKings fall to the 7th spot yesterday. So that a little wild to see. But like I said, it's a little more chaotic over there than it is over here. So Christian McCaffrey still not practicing. They said that he's going to be okay. I don't know. Fix the screen real quick, but still not practicing. But I guess if he were to, if they were to need him, he would be okay. But getting a little dicey there. We've had Tyler Warren get hurt in training camp. He's another guy who hurt his groin. We'll talk about him here in a few minutes. But yeah, just trying to avoid injuries. But the big one today, Jaden Higgins tears his ACL. He is going to be out for the year, which that's honestly a pretty big blow for not only the Texans, but I thought Jaden Higgins was a great click right now in drafts. So a late round hammer, basically the replica for Nico Collins. So he's going to be out for the year. Jalen Noel, who was also a good click, he's probably going to be even better. He just returned to practice. Tank Dell's still not practicing, and they have Xavier Hutchinson, who played a little bit last year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up in the late round portion of the program. But I think it makes Nico Collins, when you have these guys in the top spots, I just don't know how much farther you can pull them up. We talked about Chris Olave with Jordan Tyson being out. It's like, he can go up maybe a spot or two, but it's not like he's going to be going up a whole lot more. So pretty calm here on the back end. Lamb and Jefferson, you of course see a lot of that. Genty and Walker, Chase Brown and Barkley. So nothing too crazy. Devon Achane got pulled up to the end of the first round yesterday on DK, and he ends up sits here at the 4th spot in the second round. So be on the clock here shortly. Looks like they not only updated, I guess, the Puka Nakua picture, but they also updated the new dog. I don't know if they put the old dog down on the Underdog app, but they've got a new logo. So a little interesting. Let's see. I'm on the clock here. Shortly, we've got Drake London. I've got a decent amount of London. We got Brock Bowers, Nico Collins. Kind of wanted to do Nico Collins, but we'll go Bowers. We'll have some fun tonight. Bowers and Puka to start, possibly the onesies at their position. And then we'll kind of, obviously behind on running back. It's not going to be any prettier on this other side here, but we'll work through it together. Chase and Pickens. Pickens has been kind of hit or miss. It seems like he's been beginning of the third. I haven't seen him pulled up too much into the second round. We get Nico Collins to the 211, which means that'll push Neighbors a little bit. Be curious if people start clicking Nico Collins before Malik Neighbors, now that we've seen him so many times here at the end of the second round. But see what the 1 hole does, and then we'll go and kind of work our way through. not a whole lot of running backs in this side of the board, especially with Jeremiah Love getting hurt. Brees Hall, I think he's going to be okay, but he's also hurt, which is frustrating. You have Kyron Williams, which seems like the safety blanket for this end of stuff, but I think I kind of want to tap. Yeah, so Love goes. I'll take Devonta Smith and just kind of push running back. I've gotten I've gotten way too comfortable doing that this year, but yeah, so far out of the four hole, Puka, Brock Bowers, and Devonta Smith. Hopefully, get some boomer running backs on the back end if we can push this wide receiver run out a little bit. But starting to get a couple more people trickling in. Appreciate everybody tuning in for this Wednesday. We'll do one more stream tomorrow. Probably I'll be off Friday, and then possibly late Saturday night. I've got some drafts in Bowling Green, Kentucky, the Southern Bluegrass Fantasy Football Championship. Going to draft a couple auctions, a super flex, and then their mini and main event entries over there. So some high stakes stuff. Going to do that Friday, and then Saturday afternoon I'll come home and then probably do a late night stream for anybody who's up for it, and then we'll keep on keeping going until week one, and then we're going to do the start sit show with Joel Worth, and he might be back on tomorrow. We might do another underdog here tomorrow. Hasn't been decided yet, but we'll do something to have everybody who's been tuning in to have something to look forward to. So nothing too crazy. We get Trey McBride, Jeremiah Love. He's going to be out for basically seems like the rest of preseason, and he's still not falling. I don't really, for as much reaction and overreaction as we've had for some of this stuff, I don't really understand why he's going there. I know that running back's thin here between Kyron, Brees Hall, and Javante, where these guys kind of get pushed down the board, but I don't know. That's the bad part of drafting wide receivers early. You automatically feel behind, and you don't necessarily want to be pushing running backs up the board. So uh, the slippery kitty out of the 12 hole, triple tapping wide receiver with Lamb, Igbuka, and Justin Jefferson, and then he brings it around with Travis Achan, who Alvin Kamara, I guess, bruised his MCL or did something. He's going to be out for all of, I guess, training camp and possibly into the beginning of the season. So that kind of makes Travis Achan an even better click than he already was. Him, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift. I think all these guys are. I mean, I like all those guys probably better than Javonte Williams. And Javonte Williams goes in the third round. We get Josh Jacobs. I like those guys over him too. We had Joel on yesterday. He kind of talked through what he felt. Thinks Packers can throw the ball a little bit more, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And just he's a older running back with a bunch of tread on his tires. But I'll be on the clock here shortly. There is let's see, running back. I mean, I would love to make up some ground. There goes DeAndre Swift, which sucks. I got Garrett Wilson sitting here staring at me. I hope this guy doesn't take running back because I do have one in mind. But there's also some good wide receivers on the board too. So he takes Garrett Wilson. I will take David Montgomery. That will be my anchor. I think David Montgomery's been a great click this entire offseason so far. And with the news of Jaden Higgins, it probably just makes it even better. Not too worried about the Woody Marks portion of it. I know a lot of people have been kind of getting goofy about it, but yeah, I'm not too worried about Woody Marks. Scatabo, there goes Tootin. Have a couple wide receivers I feel pretty good. There goes Luther Burden. He's not falling at all, even though he's going to be out for training camp too. We don't have Colston Loveland off the board yet. We get Jameson Williams, so I will definitely end up having another wide receiver fall to me because I don't feel too great about taking. I don't really want to take Bucky Irving here. So he goes Quinshon Judkins. We have Devontae Adams. We have Mike Evans. Ooh, let's go big Mike Evans. Feel like I'm a little bit behind on the Evans stuff so far this year. But so far through five, Puka, Brock Bowers, Devonta Smith, David Montgomery, and Mike Evans. Feel like I've got round 13 Marshawn Lloyd ready in my back pocket. He's been a guy that's been getting steamed. We've had round 5 Jonathan Brooks, which is just absolutely asinine and insane, but I can't at this point. I just don't get it, but that's just me. Lamar gets paired with Zay Flowers here out of the 5 hole. And then Devontae Adams been slipping a lot in drafts. It just, I guess, a lot of people don't like clicking him. I think he's an all right click. It's not somebody I'm fading by any stretch of the imagination. I don't really get why people have been doing it, but get Roma Dunze falling a little bit. I think he's pretty good where he's at too. 4 running backs out of the 9 hole with James Cook, Achan, Javonte, and Josh Jacobs. I would assume that they're probably done at running back, if I had to guess, and then they're going to make up some ground here at wide receiver, starting off with Parker Washington, who's been the training camp darling this year. Colston Loveland getting pulled up to the beginning of the 4th round. Haven't seen a whole lot of that. We get Christian Watson, Josh Allen. Josh Allen went in the 1st and the 2nd round over on DraftKings yesterday, which I think it went 111, which is pretty wild to see, but, different strokes for different folks. But we get the running back. Bucky Irving falling looks pretty nice there. Goes all the way at the end of the 5th round, and then pair it with Travion, making up ground. Slippery Kitties being pretty slick over here. Pretty good start for them. Thomas. Got Keenan Allen going to the Colts. We'll talk about that here in a little bit and see where his price goes, but that's official as of yesterday. And, I don't know how fantasy relevant he's going to be or how much he's going to keep sliding up the boards. I don't really think that he should be going too high, but I mean, he'll get pulled up to the 13th or 14th round, possibly up to where guys like Stephon Diggs, like, I don't want to say Josh Downs level because he's been getting steamed up, but definitely getting that Matthew Golden range. I pull up. I do have running back here, and I don't think I have anybody who wants to snipe me on quarterback, even though nobody else has it. So I kind of want to. Let's see. I'll take Ramondre here, and then I'm going to see if I could get Jalen Hurts on the other side. Let's find out. I tried this a couple days ago with Devonta Smith, and then somebody in front of me took unstacked Jalen Hurts, which was a kick in the dick to say the least. 6th round, Jonathan Brooks, just unbelievable. Doesn't make any sense at all, but whatever, dude. Whatever. I can only complain about it so much. I can't keep going on and saying the same stuff over and over about it. See what Mr. Matt White does out of the 1 hole, and then see if anybody else goes. I would really like Jalen Hurts on this team. I think that he's been a value this year. One of the easier schedules as far as for their offense. I think that sets up. I was kind of listening through some stuff yesterday, and they talked about how hard the Bills' schedule, especially for like James Cook, which I wasn't really thinking through. But that beginning is pretty rough for the Bills, and honestly, throughout the whole year. Here goes Jaden Daniels. As long as I don't get sniped here on Jalen Hurts, I will be happy to take him beginning of the 7th round. He takes Dak Prescott to pair with Pickens. Seems like a little bit of pull, but that's fine by me. I'll take Hurts. I'm underweight on Hurts. I wish I had a little bit more of him, but unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind. I feel like I've tried to get him in this range, and it ends up kind of getting sniped on it. So get him paired with Devonta Smith. We'll see if I can get Mekhi Lemon, who I've been pretty behind on. I don't have near as much of him as I don't want to say as I'd like to. I think I'm probably in the 2 or 3% of Mekhi Lemon. And I'm not getting them. So we'll try again another day, maybe after this. But Quentin Johnston goes, Mekhi Lemon. We get this running back run, Tony Pollard, and then Rico Dowdle. I guess there's been some coach speak that Rico Dowdle will start. I'm not sure. I'll believe it when I see it there on Mekhi Lemon. Or not Mekhi Lemon, but Rico Dowdle getting the full-on starting workload between him and Jalen Warren. I expect more 60-40 or just kind of riding the hot hand whoever pisses off Aaron Rodgers the least, but I don't expect Rico Dowdle to be running away with the competition, so to speak. but feel okay at running back considering I've got quarterback and tight end taken care of. I'd like to get Mendoza late. It seems like he's been doing pretty good in training camp. He had the preseason game, and we'll get some more info this weekend with preseason number 2 and more of these training camps where they've been. I know the Colts and the Falcons had like a split training camp. Kevin Bone, the beat writer for the Colts, came out and said Tua just looked absolutely horrific, which I thought was hysterical. Had like a big huff and a puff before just basically dismissing anything Tua could do. So, I guess things are not going very well for Atlanta's offense, which I think that should be a little bit of concern for Bijan Robinson as far as just being number 2 overall. But I mean, I like Kevin Stefanski. The offensive line's okay, but I think the minute Michael Penix is healthy, he's probably going to end up just taking the workload there. Nothing too crazy over here compared to DraftKings, where all sorts of wild and wacky stuff end up happening. Let's see, Trevor Lawrence. So we're ahead of the quarterback run that usually goes this time of the draft. Get RJ Harvey, which getting a lot of Jonah Coleman talk. He's going, I mean, 13th, 14th round, all these sleepers. That's where they all have been starting to go now. So if you like him in drafts, especially these best ball drafts, you're just gonna have to pull them up. They're not gonna fall. They're not gonna fall to you. Chuba Hubbard ends up being going. So I'm on the clock again. Kind of want to lean into wide receiver. Got Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs, even with his ADP kind of shooting up, I think he ends up being a great click. So I like this wide receiver room so far with Puka, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, and then Stephon Diggs as my wide receiver 4. A little behind on running back. I could go quarterback again and just get ahead of this. I've been doing a lot of 2 quarterback builds. I want to make sure, kind of like Brock Purdy here. Doesn't have the same buy as Jalen Hurts, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't think I'm going to get sniped on him. There goes Dart. As I say that, gets a little iffy. I would like Purdy on here. Pair him with Mike Evans, and then maybe Deshaun Stribling down the road, but Deshaun Stribling's been getting pulled up too, so we'll find out here shortly. Goes Kyle Pitts, Mahomes. We will find out. I wouldn't think so, but you never know with these people. Goes Harold Fannin. I will take Brock Purdy. And then I will honestly probably, we'll see how far Mendoza falls, but I'll probably just stick with the 2 quarterbacks unless something happens there. So get Hurts paired with Devonta Smith and then Brock Purdy paired with Mike Evans. So pretty good there so far. Bo Nick's getting pulled up a little bit. I expect Kyler to come back, get pulled up here too. Now that this quarterback run is going, there goes Matthew Stafford. Not a lot of running backs. I'm okay at 2 right now. Like looking at the board, I would like to have JCM, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. There's been not, I guess Rashad White has been out of practice the last day or 2, and it seems like they've been trying to make JCM a thing. So I would like to have him, and he goes. So no way in hell that's happening, but it was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. And then Worthy's here. There goes Gainwell. Kyle Monungai, if he falls, I'll probably take a shot on him. But Chris Rodriguez, Tyrone Tracy, gets pretty ugly. You're just ending up playing handcuffs again, which I've done that plenty of times, so I can work through it, but we'll see. So here goes double taps quarterback here at the end with Jordan Love and Kyler Murray. Casey Concepcion, he's been getting a lot of buzz, and it seems like that's going to be the preferred play in Cleveland, especially for these drafts coming up. I think Denzel Boston's a fine play, but it seems like Casey Concepcion has been the guy that people are really getting excited about, and they've been clicking him. It seems like he's been getting a lot of buzz, and the manufactured touches, especially with the quarterbacks that suck as bad as Shador and Deshaun Watson. I just think it ends up where those guys end up just kind of playing it through him. I'm kind of curious to see what his ceiling is, but I mean, if he ends up getting a couple manufactured targets and then he can kind of break off, it makes it a little better of a play this year than Denzel Boston until they get a new quarterback. So, Stribling and Kittle go. I don't have much else to pair with Brock Purdy at the moment, unless I want to do like Christian Kirk real late, which I would prefer not to. I would like to do some different stuff in my life, but Manungai is falling. He is going to. I want to see if I can push him one more round. I'm going to hit Rashad White and then see if I can hit Manungai on the other side. I'm probably pushing it, but it'll be all right. Just a little behind on running back, and I don't necessarily want to play the bargain bin, but we'll see if I can get Manungai pushed back to the other side. Also curious to see where Jordan Tyson goes after his injury. I think he's almost kind of undraftable, but we'll see. I think maybe in certain builds you can make it happen, but Jordan Tyson is going to be out at least for the first, I mean, probably 2 months through 8 or 9 weeks. They have a bye week and they have the overseas. I guess they play in France or somewhere. So I'm a little worried that he gets pushed to 8 games, and then if he comes back and something happens again, he just ends up getting shut down for the year. So I just think there's a little bit more risk than people are probably baking into the Jordan Tyson stuff. But yeah, this guy taking double whammy, the one hole with Manungai and Jordan Tyson. But I think 11th round is still a little too rich, but I guess that's just me personally. I got Debo sitting here. I've got Jalen Coker. Um, don't like running back right now. That running back after this is just a lost cause. So we will hit wide receiver. Probably pair Debo with Brock Purdy, as I almost clicked on somebody else. Here we go. Aaron Jones goes. There's been a lot of talk of Jordan Mason being the guy. Jordan Mason is. We saw him last year with Aaron Jones, and it wasn't very impressive. So I don't know what could possibly be different this time around between him and Aaron Jones. I just think both guys are just guys that I'm not excited to click. Don't really want much of any part of. So Keaton Mitchell goes. Been more talk of him. So I don't know. We'll see. So we're getting some more people hopping in. Like I said, if you guys have anything, drop it in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Got more of these streams coming along. Gonna try to stream an auction possibly on Sunday. We will see. But hoping to stream a live auction over at the NFFC. Did my first one this past Sunday for this season over there, and then hoping to stream one. It takes a couple hours, but they're a lot of fun. So, and if somebody out there who hasn't done any auctions, I would highly recommend them. Take a little longer than a normal one, but I think it's the best way to play fantasy football. Khalil Shakir goes off the board. Shaheed. There goes Malik Willis. Get the 3 quarterback build out of the 12 spot. A lot of Skylar Bell just came back from I guess his torn ACL. He's starting to practice again. Caleb Douglas has been him and Malik Washington basically started for the Dolphins when they played their preseason game. So it seems like Caleb Douglas is already locked in for the wide receiver 2, which I don't know what that necessarily means. I don't know if that is great, but it's better than nothing at this point. I don't know what the wide receiver Miami drafting is going to get you value wise, but we'll see. I'm on the clock here. Kind of want Juwan Johnson, as long as I don't jinx it here. You see this little bit of a tight end run. Prepare to be surprised. Goes Woody Marks. I'll take Juwan Johnson. Still going to be undervalued and probably going to be undervalued throughout this entire process. I just don't think a lot of people are. They weren't really in on Juwan Johnson to begin with, and then they're probably going to play through Devon Vele as far as the Jordan Tyson news. And Juwan Johnson's been a very good fantasy asset. I mean, he probably helped win you your league 2 years ago. He had a huge Week 17 playoff game as far as fantasy football goes. So I think he ends up being a really good click this time. And I mean, I would probably have him over Likely. Him and Goddard are kind of wash. Like, I'd probably rather have Juwan Johnson than Jake Ferguson. So I think I ended up getting a value here with Juwan Johnson. Got a couple running backs in the queue here. Compare Tank Bigsby with Jalen Hurts already. I don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see what this guy does. Also have Jonah Coleman sitting here staring at me, which I don't think he's going to come back to me. I wish he would, but I might just end up hitting the Tank Bigsby draft button here. There goes Chigakonkwo. I'll take Tank Bigsby. And just in case something happens to Saquon, then I end up getting that premium handcuff there. Like I said, it's a lot more calmer over on Underdog than it has been on DraftKings. I feel like the last couple times I've drafted over there this week, it's just been absolute chaos. So just a lot more tamed over here. Tyler Shuck probably falling a little bit with the Jordan Tyson news. I'd rather have Malik Willis over him. I probably have Daniel Jones. I like Stroud better until Jaden Higgins being out, which Jaden Higgins being out hurts pretty bad. I thought Jaden Higgins was a pretty good click this year in drafts so far where he was going. So him being hurt is a pretty big blow for the Texans, who I think the offensive line will be a little bit better. I think Stroud will be a little bit better than people think, and I just stinks. And I'm worried that they'll get more Xavier Hutchinson in like they did last year. Tank Dell's still not practicing. I mean, he has not played actual NFL football. He's done a little bit of stuff, but as far as like actually game simulation, he still hasn't done it. So it doesn't seem like a very safe click right now in drafts. I guess I'll just leave it at that. But get Marshawn Lloyd pulled up to the 13th round. He's getting steamed. I've seen him. I think it was in the 11th round, which it was way early, but I saw him in the 11th round. This is where all the sleeper picks, all the dart throws that everybody likes starts to really take shape and kind of go there. So Keenan Allen in the 14th round, it's probably going to be the new norm. Travis Hunter, he just practiced on the all defense squad this today and I guess yesterday as well. So they've been going back and forth as far as offense and defense, but it still feels pretty thin for Travis Hunter on the run out that he's going to be, kind of worthwhile there. Alvin Kamara gets clicked even though news came out he's hurt his MCL and he's probably going to be out a while, at least throughout the rest of the preseason, possibly leading into week 1. I think Audric Estime is the backup to the backup. I don't know if he's necessarily draftable, but just something to kind of think of and work through there. There goes Tank Dell. Jalen Noel still not gone off the board. I would rather have him. There goes Hunter Henry. I'm on the clock here. I'll go. I don't really like the other stuff, so I'll go Dalton Schultz. I think he's still a value. Probably not ideal to have 3 tight ends with Brock Bowers, but they could also kind of hit the flex. So let's see. Who do I prefer? Week 1 show Juwan Johnson or Malik Willis solo. I would probably say Malik Willis. I just think the rushing upside, he could probably end up hitting. He's need to check the price on him. I don't know if you could tell me the price between Chuck and Willis, but I think Willis just probably is easier play by himself because you don't have to worry about him taking anybody with him, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'd probably lean Malik Willis there for week 1. Chuck's been okay, but I'm just not sure his ceiling compared to Willis. If Willis is on the run, I think I think Malik Willis solo is just probably the way to play it there. And then I will be on the clock here. See what we got. Juwan Jennings, Adonai Mitchell, Omar Cooper, who's not getting any run. I'll go Adonai Mitchell. He's been getting a little bit of buzz. He's not a guy that I like clicking at all, but I don't have any of him, so I'll just kind of mix him in here. Don't like Omar Cooper right now. It seems like Omar Cooper way behind. I mean, way behind in Jets camp. Charbonnet goes. There goes Omar Cooper, if I can speak. Dylan Sampson, I still think he's probably better over on DraftKings where it's full point PPR, but I do think that Dylan Sampson is a pretty decent click in this late round, especially with all these other backups getting moved up. So Mendoza goes, so I won't be getting him later on. Mike Washington, the backup to Ashton Genty goes. He seems like he's a pretty good click right now in drafts, especially how explosive he looked in preseason. That's an elite handcuff there. Here goes Malik Washington, which I don't. We kind of already know what Malik Washington is. I don't know if there's really a need to draft. I just not a guy that I want to draft because I don't think that he's got any sort of ceiling or upside to actually help you in leagues this year. So there goes Gino. Gets paired with Josh Allen. Get through these next 3 rounds, and then we'll do another Hound Dog. If anybody else out there wants to join me and do a draft, I'll kick it off, and then we'll do that together. So see where I'm at running back wise. I'm pretty thin. Could use another one. Not a whole lot of them. Let's see. I would rather pay $100 more for Monty. I think Monty is like a tier better than Pollard. He's going to get. I think they want to run Tajay Spears. I just don't like Woody Marks. I don't think Woody Marks was bad last year. No matter whatever people say, I just don't think that. I think Montgomery has top 12 upside easily compared to what Tony Pollard does. So yeah, I'd rather pay up the $100 for Monty. I mean, I think he can bury Pollard by like 10 plus points if things go his way. Vele getting pulled up by me. He's usually been the last round 18 click, but he goes here in the 16th round, and then let's see. I need running back. Ray Davis is sitting here. Jordan James, Kalen Black, Seth McGowan. Think about pulling him up. It seems like he's going to be the backup to Jonathan Taylor. They've came out and basically said, here goes Ted Hurst. DJ Giddens is not. I guess he just came back from a hamstring and now he's hurt again. So this is going to be the Seth McGowan. They don't really have anybody else at running back, so that would be the premium handcuff to Jonathan Taylor there. Let me see. Is this for week 1 or just overall? Let me check the pricing. I'm assuming it's DK. If you're talking about DFS, I'll check the pricing over there. But I'd still lean Pitts for me. I forgot who Falcons play if this is for DFS. Let me look real quick. Goes Jacoby Brissett, 17th round. That feels pretty late for Jacoby. I know that everybody's liked like Carson Beck after his one preseason game, but I mean, yeah, yeah. Not tonight. I'll be doing the Hound Dog. So I'll be if you want to do the I've I just saw that popped up today with all the other stuff, but after this I'm gonna do another the Hound Dog 2 or whatever. It's a $6 one. And then the other one they have is like a $2 one, and then they have the first quarter. So I want to look into the first quarter before I start throwing American currency at it. But after this, I'm going to do another Hound Dog, and I'll count it off if you guys want to hop in and do one with me. Let's see. Bryce Lance goes. That's a late round flyer that is going to get pulled now. And I know Joel Worth, guy, one of my good friends I had on yesterday, he's been talking about Bryce Lance even before this. So I think that ends up being a good late round flyer. If he's not been drafted, he will be now. So let me see who the Falcons play week one. They play the Steelers. So I forgot about that. I mean, came out today. The Colts and the Falcons have been practicing, like doing the joint practice. And Kevin Bowen, his exact words were Tua looked absolutely horrific. So I'm a little worried about the overall environment for Atlanta and just, I guess, the passing options. I'm on the clock here for my last click. I got Sean Tucker, got Jordan James, um, Braylon Allen. I guess I'll take Braylon Allen. Steelers are probably a good defense to attack just because Tua is so stationary. Just pick up sacks and, he could turn the ball over a couple times and just kind of get after it. So Steelers defense, like I said, I don't think anything's going to get too crazy week one, but I definitely think that the Steelers probably be a great play. Probably get a little bit of ownership, but yeah, I think I'd lean Juwan Johnson for this, or Kyle Pitts answer here. I liked it better when Penix was in last year compared to Kirk, even though I know that Kirk got some run, but I think Penix, I think two is just absolutely toast. So here we go. We have got it. Sean Tucker, the Mr. Irrelevant here. I'm going to go through this team real quick, and then I'll do a kickoff for the Hound Dog again if anybody else wants to hop in. So out of the four hole, Puka, Brock Bowers, Devonta Smith, David Montgomery, Mike Evans, Ramondre, Jalen Hurts, get that stack, and then stack Mike Evans with Brock Purdy, Stephon Diggs, Rashad White, Debo, Juwan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Dalton Schultz, Adonai Mitchell, Devon Vele, Seth McGowan, and then Braylon Allen. Not a whole lot of craziness this late round. Somebody took 18th round Jaden Higgins. I'm just assuming they don't know that he's out for the year yet. And then Sean Tucker late is good late. Malachi Fields is a guy I'm taking. Darren Waller, I think he's draftable. He probably belongs in the 15th or 16th round. Get Jacoby, I think, is draftable. I know everybody wants to play the Carson Beck stuff, but we'll see. We will see. So I'm going to Tech Lord here real quick. I'm going to get out of this, and then we will hop into another Hound Dog. So we're going to get into the drafts. If you guys want to jump in with me, I'll do a countdown, and then we will go through this real quick. So it's the Hound Dog 2. It's the $6 one. Um, and then I'll probably do some first quarters and stuff here soon, but that just dropped, and I'm going to try to get this taken care of and filled. So, all right, on the count of five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are entering the Hound Dog, and then we're going to do another one of these. So, 1, 2, 3, 7 spots. Anybody else wants to go in there and hop in with me, and we'll get this kicked off, and hopefully we get a back end of a draft spot. So, like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, if you guys have any more questions or any other stuff you want to talk through, just let me know and we'll talk through it. There we go. No kickoff here in 60 seconds. Got one more spot. And then if you're in here with me, just let me know what spot you got so I can snipe you. There we go. I'm out of the 12 spot. That feels good. Let's see. Yep, so this is kicking off momentarily, and then we will get through this one, and then I'll be out of here for the evening. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll probably do another underdog draft to fill some of this small stuff. Hopefully, they have some bigger, like single entry, bigger entry fee stuff. I don't play much. I'll do a couple best ball millionaires, but I don't really play that stuff. So just I'd rather do the smaller contests, higher entry fee. That's kind of the way that I play through this stuff. So here we go. Clock's kicking off in 15 seconds. We get Gibbs. We'll get the normal suspects and kind of go through what we got, see if anything crazy goes on. If you guys have seen anything crazy in drafts, let me hear about them. Because like I said, I saw week 17 or round 17 Joe Mixon a couple nights ago, and I'm still shook by it. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. Chase, Puka. We'll see what the end here looks like, and then we'll kind of go through. Here goes JSN. Nothing too crazy. It's been a lot more wild and wacky over on DraftKings, like I said earlier. There's been a lot of funky stuff going on over there. Here was Amon Ra. So Lamb gets pulled up, so I will end up getting somebody who is falling. There goes Jonathan Taylor. Talked about it yesterday. He's probably my least favorite first round pick so far in drafts. Would like to get James Cook. I probably jinxed it, and it's probably not happening. But yeah, there goes James Cook. Got Jaegerbaum in here. Got a couple characters in tonight. I wonder if this will end up being a Saquon and James Cook team. Actually, we'll go Justin Jefferson, and then we'll go Chase Brown. Here we go. I would lean McLaurin. I'm a little worried about Godwin. We'll see if anything happens to Igbuka. I'll come back around to it, but I still think that McLaurin will be. I just think he'll get so much more volume than what Godwin. I'm worried about the Godwin coming off injury again. I mean, it's like 2 times out of 3 years that he's coming off big injury there. So I'm a little worried about what is left for him in 2026. So I'll lean McLaurin there. I did see Vita Vea ended up getting paid, so he'll be back with the Bucks this year. He got paid like $30 million or something, so he's doing all right. He's doing a lot better than I am money wise right now. I did see the center for the Ravens, Danny Pinner, getting carted off, and it seemed like it looked a little serious. Which Ravens offensive line was pretty suspect to begin with. I think that's kind of gone under the radar, but I think that makes me a little more worried than I already am for Derrick Henry, who gets paired with Christian McCaffrey here. Derrick Henry's not a guy that I normally click. I usually fade him in DFS the last couple of years, but I'm a little worried about the Ravens' offensive line just in general. Curious to see if that means Lamar ends up running more. He kind of backed off of it a little bit last year, but we'll see. But if the Danny Pinner center stuff, if he's actually hurt for a little while, I think that's kind of a nightmare scenario. But yeah, Nico Collins getting pulled up a little bit. He goes to the 2-9 here, pick 21 overall. Neighbors has been sitting at the end of the second round. Usually, pick 23 or 24. George Pickens will get Rashi Rice come around the corner. Genty and Walker out of the 11 spot. We get James Cook and Devon Achane out of the 10 spot, and then Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley here. Kind of a little boomer ball pick out of that spot there, so out of the 9 hole. McBride. See where Jeremiah Love goes in this draft. Still haven't seen him fall much. I think he should fall a little bit more. I would love to take him at the end of the 3rd round, beginning of the 4th round. I'm just not sure if it's ever going to happen. For whatever reason, people still like clicking him, but get scared off on all these other injuries, but Jeremiah Love having a high ankle sprain just seems like nobody cares. So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But what do I know? I just work here. There's Jeremiah Love. So yeah, they're not scared. I don't really know why. Goes Brees Hall. We'll get Javonte Williams coming off the board here momentarily, and that'll kind of conclude this. Him and Kyron Williams. That'll conclude that running back tier, and then we'll get into more of the uglier clicks. So I'll probably end up having another wide receiver come down the pipe for me. Waddle, Igbuka, T. Higgins, Ladd. Uh, expect one of these guys, unless I didn't just totally jinx it and everybody starts going. One of these guys will end up coming to me. I don't have a whole lot of Javonte Williams. I wouldn't expect him to fall, but if he did, I would be cautiously curious on clicking him instead of just getting behind at running back again. So there's really not. Here goes T. Higgins, because I'll be way behind on running back coming back the other side. Yeah, third round Josh Allen. I've seen a lot. There goes Ladd. Got a lot of picks here. I'll go. I'll go Javante. I get a little bit of a discount on him. He falls, and then Garrett Wilson sitting here. Emeka Ibuka, Jalen Waddle. Let's see how I want to go about this. We'll go Garrett Wilson. Actually, well, yeah, there we go. We'll go Garrett Wilson. Get a little different there. But so far, out of the 12 spot, we got Justin Jefferson, Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, and then Garrett Wilson. Getting a little bit different. Sometimes ugly is good in these contests where everybody tries to win with sexiness, the lads and Zay Flowers and all that stuff. Garrett Wilson, when he's on, he's been really good. So here goes Waddle, Buka. See if Lamar goes to this Zay Flowers spot here in the fourth round, or if he ends up falling to the other side. Here you go. Travis Achan goes, who I still think's a good click. Him, Montgomery, Swift. These are guys that I'm targeting in the fourth round. These are honestly some of my favorite clicks, and this was all before the injury news, and it just, Kamara, Kyle Monungai, and then, the Jaden Higgins stuff. I mean, that all works right into those running backs' favors. So I'm happy clicking those, and I'm, some people probably think it's, boomer ball, but I think they're good clicks, especially David Montgomery. He's one of my favorite clicks on the board. But people don't care for older running backs, and they just don't want any part of it. But if you guys don't want it, I'd be happy to scoop it up. I think he could do what Joe Mixon did a couple of years ago in 2024. So I don't think so, and if he does, he's going to be limited. So I just think that really pushes DeAndre Swift into who's is it Roshan Johnson? That's running back 3 in Chicago. I mean, Swift's got a sweet ceiling without Monungai. I mean, I think he's got a very safe floor even with him. And that Monungai's out the second half of the year when they figured out how to, when Ben Johnson figured out how to work DeAndre Swift. I mean, it worked out really well for him. So, I mean, I definitely think he's a top 10 running back, and he goes, between the 15 and 20s as far as running back rankings go. But the Zay Flowers guy here is probably pissed that Lamar goes. But as of right now, I wouldn't expect Monungai to, and even if he does, I don't think he's going to be very effective. So, yeah, I just don't. And I thought he was too expensive to begin with. I wasn't really clicking Kyle Monungai to begin with. Not a guy that I was necessarily into or wanting a whole lot of. Get a couple more clicks here. I don't want to jinx it, and I do have to announce it on public record. I would like Jadarian Price to fall to me. I expect DJ Moore probably go to the Josh Allen guy. We do have Christian Watson and Parker Washington, so I will be okay here at the end, but I would like Jadarian Price. I don't really want to click on Travion Henderson, and then that running back tier gets pretty goofy. So there goes Watson. This is probably going to be DJ Moore if I had to guess. Yeah, so if I can avoid the landmine here, as long as Nick out of the 11 hole, he takes Parker Washington. So that works out for me. I'll grab Jadarian Price, and I'll get a little bit ahead on running back for once. And then I know he just got hurt. I think he's going to be okay. I don't really want Carnell Tate. I'll take Tyler Warren. I think he ends up being the wide receiver 1 for the Colts. So through 6, Justin Jefferson, Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, Garrett Wilson, Jadarian Price, and Tyler Warren. Finally behind on wide receiver, so I'll try to make that work on the back end here. But so far, pretty fun start. It said that Tyler Warren hurt his groin, but he's going to be okay. I just think these guys have to build up some callus as far as getting hit and ending up having to, get off the field for injury. And everybody gets carted off in practice right now. So when you hear somebody's getting carted off, take it with a grain of salt until you see everybody hovering around these guys and making sure they're okay. But Cardinal Tate goes after Warren. I'm a little worried that Cardinal Tate is pretty thin pick right now. It's a little rich for me. There goes Travion. Like I said it before, I'll say it again. I think Ramondre belongs in front of Travion. The news out of training camp still has not been great for him. It seems like he's still got stuff to work on. And it's not like he's made up a whole lot of ground from what he did last year. We get Brian Thomas, Drake May paired with A.J. Brown, which that happened. Him and Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase, those are the two that just go, kind of back and forth. And then Jalen Hurts getting, this 4 running back build here, just the anchor running backs, McCaffrey, Henry, Brees Hall, and DeAndre Swift with Devontae Adams. So he'll be behind at wide receiver, and me and him will be duking it out. Does Malik Willis need to be stacked for DFS? Absolutely not. I think you can fly him solo and be just fine. People will try it with Greg Dulcich. I'm just not sure Greg Dulcich is going to be a thing. And I'm not sure that, Malik Willis can get there on his legs. If you saw some of the stuff he did with Green Bay, he can get you 20 points without carrying anybody along with him. So, no, I don't think you need to stack him at all. And it's honestly, if you stacked him, it'd probably be contrarian, if anything. I wouldn't double stack him if you wanted to bring one cheap piece of the puzzle with, if you felt that confident in Miami. But no, you don't have to play Malik. I expect Malik Willis to get played a little bit week 1 DFS. We get the quarterback run. Hurts, Burrow, Daniels, and Lamar go together, both unstacked. You get Jamar Chase and Lamar for the week 17, but a little goofy. Jonathan Brooks, 6th round again. Saw him in the 5th round. If you're, I need to shut up about it, but I just can't. If you're drafting Jonathan Brooks in the 5th and 6th round, I think you need to find God. I really do. I think it's the worst click on the board. And we do this every year in fantasy football, and I just don't understand the reasoning, the logic. None of it, just none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense at all. Why Jonathan Brooks still keeps getting steamed up boards. It's just kind of baffling. But Laporta goes off. I could probably grab quarterback here soon. I can also grab wide receiver. I do need another one of those before it gets too thin. It was Herbert, Dak. I probably need to grab at least one quarterback on this turn here, but we'll see how things kind of line up. And let's see. It was Jaden Reed. I'll definitely grab a wide receiver, and then we'll kind of go through. There's Godwin. We've got Jordan Addison here. I think he's fine. Kind of a spike week guy. And then Sutton. I still think he's pretty good. Yeah, I'd rather take Sutton over Kyle Lemon right now, so I'll take him. So wide receiver room, Wilson, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Cortland Sutton. Maybe I can get Bo Nix and Kyler to come back around on the other side. Another question is Zay Flowers, a good pivot off of Olave. New Orleans only implied 20 points. Zay Flowers goes up against the Colts secondary of Chardavius Ward and Sauce Gardner. Probably not an ideal matchup for Zay Flowers, so I think Olave is still fine. I'm not really too worried about the Detroit's defense is terrible, and by terrible I mean absolute dog water. So yeah, I'd rather have Olave over Zay Flowers in that spot there. RJ Harvey still going in the 8th round feels a little thin. Here goes Mekhi Lemon. I wish he'd fall a little bit more because I'd like to have a little bit more of him, but just haven't been getting there. It seems like he's been a pretty slow ramp up in camp. Goes Stephon Diggs in the 8th round. Starting to climb up the boards a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see how far he ends up going. But I tweeted out that I was going to try to not leave with any guys with injury, and of course I picked Tyler Warren, so I tried my best, but just hard. Even though I knew it too, but oh well. Alec Pierce goes in the 8th round. That seems pretty rich. Still not practicing. Not going to practice until at least next week. But they keep putting it off. He's probably 2 weeks behind on practice now. As long as I don't jinx it, I think I will be good on quarterback on the back end here. But it's Stephon Diggs, and I'm assuming that's Tedero McMillan, the same play. If you're talking about McMillan, I think that he's probably got a little more upside than Stephon Diggs. It's just him and Jalen Coker, and he had some pretty good games, even though Bryce Young only averages like 180 yards a game. But if that's who you're talking about, I'd still lean. I don't think it's the same play. I think Mr. McMillan's got a little more upside than Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs probably safe floor. I mean, top 20, 24 wide receiver where McMillan can easily go into the Terry McLaurin. That's my bad. No, McLaurin. I still think McLaurin's going to be the alpha there. That's my bad. But I'd still play it through McLaurin. I'm kind of curious to see if Stephon Diggs ends up on a snap count still. He was last year with the Patriots. He only played like 55%. I think it's 56% of snaps. So yeah, I'd still lean McLaurin. I could see some spike weeks from Diggs over him, but I still think McLaurin's going to be the alpha over there. But I'm going to be on the clock here in a second. We do have quarterback. I can double tap and stack my guys as long as no goofiness happens. But now that I put it out into the universe, usually this is when stupid stuff happens. But I should be okay here. Would like another running back. Running back's looking pretty ugly right now. But I should be able to stack at least one of my guys here. There goes Manungai. Still a little too expensive for me. I just don't think I think he's a good handcuff. I don't think he's a premium one. I mean, just going around later behind Blake Corum seems a little goofy. There goes Goff. Please do not do this to me. Let's see if I can get Kyler to pair him with Jefferson and Addison. Here goes Pitts. Still got a Kraft owner here, so I'd be curious to see if he gets Jordan Love on the other side of this. Takes Dart, so I'll take Kyler. And then quarterback is so thin. Also have Harold Fannin here, who's definitely falling. Do I want to do that? No. I'm going to do Bo Nix. I really do not want to play in the Bryce Young, Stroud. I've done enough of that. I'm kind of over it. So I'll double tap these two. And then, like I said, I've done a lot of 2 quarterback builds instead of 3. I know that the insurance everybody loves, but I don't love the late round quarterbacks. It's not like you have Matt Stafford or Daniel Jones sitting there on one of your late round picks. I definitely thought about getting Harold Fane in there, but I've played it through mid tier tight end, and I feel much more comfortable doing that. So I just I liked Fannin a lot last year. I talked about it yesterday. I just don't know if this year is going to be near as near as good for him with KC Concepcion, Denzel Boston, and if Deshaun Watson is playing a lot of games, I just think that makes it miserable for him. But Jordan Tyson still here in the 10th round. That feels very thin. That feels very thin. That's not if he's going to be going in 10th round. He's just on my no fly zone. No, thank you. I think the risk and reward in the 10th round when you have other guys like Concepcion, Kittle, you get this tight end run. I think that's way too rich to take a chance on a guy who more than likely isn't giving you production for the first half of the year, and I'm not even sure if he's going to end up being like a hammer on the back end. So goes Kelsey. We're getting this tight end run. I've got Tyler Warren here, so I think you can get away with two tight ends as long as you don't have the same bye week. But we'll get some of this through and see what happens here at the end of the 11th, 12th when some of these guys start getting pulled up. So getting a few more people trickling in here. Like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you've got any comments, any of that good stuff, make sure to drop them in the chat, and I'll be happy to go over them with you. We're talking a little DFS at the moment. But Dobbs, Jacoby Myers, I mean, Myers and Dobbs should more than likely go before Jordan Tyson at this point. Malik Willis. I'm a little behind on Willis, but I think he ends up being a fine pick. I do see there goes Sean Stribling. As I just about said, I would like to have him fall to me. Goddard's here. I've taken a lot of Goddard. I'm way overweight on Dallas Goddard. I do need to make up at wide receiver. Khalil Shakir, Jalen Coker. Could double tap both of them as long as they don't get double tapped here. There goes Shakir. Did I really just jinx myself? There goes Likely. So take Jalen Coker, and then we will see what I can do. Rashid Shaheed. I can do Daniel Jones is here. I don't have a lot of Shaheed. Kind of like Goddard. I'll go Goddard. Pair him with Tyler Warren. So I'll be done at tight end, and then I'll just kind of keep playing the hits through wide receiver and then grab a couple handcuffs. We'll see if I can get Marshawn Lloyd or Jaden Blue to the 13th round. They've been getting steamed up, so to where I don't think that probably not viable, but a man can dream. But so far through 13, Justin Jefferson, Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, Garrett Wilson, Jadarian Price, Tyler Warren, Jordan Addison, Cortland Sutton, Kyler Murray, Bo Nix, Jalen Coker, and Dallas Goddard. Probably need to look and see how much Kyler Murray and Bo Nix. That's kind of been my safe haven this year. Just punting quarterback and then picking one or both of those guys late. I think they've both easily finished top 12, and they go way late. Those guys, Jordan Love. I know a lot of people like sitting in the Dak Prescott, Herbert, Lawrence tier, but I think Murray and Bo Nix are perfectly fine. I mean, Bo Nix gets playing behind the best offensive line in football, and he gets Jalen Waddle added to the squad, and he goes later than he did last year. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Go Stroud. Here comes the tight end run. So I likely kind of set it off, but I had Goddard and then Andrews, who out of camp, it seems like Mark Andrews is struggling. He's also old as hell, and he's had a lot of. I mean, the metrics don't look very good for him as far as the last couple of years. Tajay Spears. I think he's a pretty good click right now before all these draft darlings get pulled up. I think I don't think there's near as much of a gap as people think between Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. I guess I'll just leave it at that. Juwan Johnson and Brenton Strange. So they double tap. Late round tight end, they'll probably grab another one. Probably like Terrence Ferguson or something like that. 13th round, Keenan Allen off the board there. Mr. Lane from Baltimore. Dalton Schultz, who I still think is a pretty good click. Don't care what anybody says. He's been a good click all year. Even better now that Jaden Higgins is out for the year with a torn ACL. So we get Burrow here and then double taps quarterback with Darnold and Stroud. Gets that paired with JSN, and then Stroud goes unstacked. But I'll be on the clock here shortly. Got 6 more rounds to go. Kind of see what ends up going on over here. Kind of want to take on a chance on Jonah Coleman as long as I don't jinx it. We'll find out shortly if I do. Tank Bigsby sitting here. Marshawn Lloyd. But all the news for Jonah Coleman coming out of Denver camp seems to be pretty positive. And he goes. Fucking course. It's like clockwork. I'm going to take. And there goes Marshawn Lloyd, too. So might as well have gotten double kicked in the balls. I'll take Pat Bryant, pair him with Bo Nix, and then. Ah, boy. Tank Bigsby sitting here. Jaden Blue. I'll take Blue. No way in hell he comes around to the other side, but would have loved to have both Coleman and Lloyd there. So that's what I get for speaking it out into the universe. That happens to me every single time, but it's all good in the hood. And then I've got 2 tight ends. Quarterback is, I've been doing a lot of 2 quarterbacks, so I'll grab another running back. And then maybe 2 and 2 on the running backs and wide receivers. Cam Ward still doesn't sound very good out of Titans camp. A lot of turnovers. I guess they're working through a lot of stuff with that Dable offense, but that was a lot of stuff that's been happening with him in Miami. Just kind of erratic, and it didn't catch up to him, but it's starting to catch up to him in the NFL. Just not taking care of the football. Go Trey Harris off the board. Juwan Jennings. Dontavian Wicks. We get Naylor and Trey Tucker back to back. I'm not sure if either one of these guys ends up doing anything for the Raiders. They had a little bit of Jack Besh playing during the preseason, but doesn't seem like he's going to be a guy either. So I think it's really Brock Bowers or bust there. I'm not sure if, the thought process, I can get the wide receiver 1 for the Raiders, even if they play it through Brock Bowers. I'm just not sure between Bowers and Genty, and honestly, the lack of quarterback. I'm just not sure if there's a winner there. Maybe for some weekly production, but outside of that, I just don't think there's a real home run winner here. But we get Tank Dell. I guess he goes in front of Jalen Noel again, which I still think's bad. Tank Dell is still not practicing and actually done anything with the team and actual. He's done some side work, but he's still not practicing. So I'm not really sure. I guess the hopium of if he can come back, but I still think he's a bit away. Like a bit away. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play week 1. I guess is where I'm trying to get at. So if Jalen Noel keeps falling like he has, I'd be happy to take him late. I've already taken a good amount of him, but I think he makes even better click, and people aren't figuring that out or realizing it yet. Bigsby, Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet. I think that's a little rich, personally, but let's see. Dylan Sampson goes. Have a couple interesting tight ends. I said I don't necessarily need it, but there's Pacheco. I mean, Kenyon Sadiq's kind of falling. AJ Barner's still there. Brian Robinson Jr. There goes Sadiq. I mean, AJ Barner ADP kind of falling. See if this person takes him, and then if he doesn't, I guess I'll pair him with the other guys just in case something happens to Tyler Warren. But there goes AJ Barner, and then wide receiver Douglas Branch, Devon Vele again. I'll click him. There we go. We'll get 2 more rounds out of this. So, for me personally, mostly I play cash, but definitely a couple showdowns I've done a couple grand. There's a couple years ago, it was Washington and the Bears played on, I think it's a Thursday night football, and one of the back, I think it was Khalil Herbert. I had him in a lineup, and whoever was playing in front of him got hurt, and I took down one of those showdown contests. But for the most part, I play. Honestly, a lot of it has been cash game stuff. So a lot of the 50-50, the head-to-head stuff. So I don't go like not like the Millie Maker and all that sort of stuff. If anything, it's a lot of single entry contests too, like single entry 3 max. Those are kind of more of the stuff that I play compared to like the Millie Makers and the 150 lineups. Najee Harris in the 16th round, he gets signed to the Giants. Uh, Not sure if that means anything at all. I guess it's fine. I'd rather have him in the 18th round than the 16th. I still think there's some guys with bodies. There was a video of Najee looking faster than he has ever looked. I don't know if he's lost a couple pounds, but yeah, I just don't know. Don't know how much Najee Harris is producing this year, but I guess we'll find out. Doesn't feel like a very fun click. I'll just leave it at that. Curious to see how far Alvin Kamara falls with this news. It's not like he's going to be out all season, but he will be out for a little bit, and I still expect him to have a role when he comes back. So if he comes back around to me, I might end up clicking him. Got 4, yeah, probably wide receiver and running back for me here again. Calvin Ridley goes Flournoy. Between him, Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, and Cooper Kupp, I really had to lay off. I felt like I was taking at least one of those, and sometimes 2 in every draft to start when they were going so late, and I saw how much bags I had packed of them, and really had to start laying off. Get Gunnar Helm with Kate Otten, pair him with Trey McBride. So Mr. Jagerbomb doing the same thing, even if when getting elite tight end. I just do a 3 tight end. I just think some of these tight ends could hit the flex this year. Honestly, I'd rather have some of those guys compared to um, some of these wide receivers. Like Tesla's not having a good camp. He ran hot on touchdowns, but I don't feel good. We'll see if I end up getting Kamara to fall here to the very end, and then I'd be happy to take him as a late round flyer if he falls this far. Njoku, been some camp buzz on him. Goes Gino, Jacoby Brissett. I think those guys should probably go a little bit higher. Goes Braylon Allen. And then see if I get sniped on Alvin Kamara. I don't think so, looking at this room. But you never know. Goes Booty. So I'll take Kamara, even though he's going to be out for at least a month. I'll pair him with Devon Vele, and then I will go Jalen Noel. I feel like I've kind of hammered this late round pretty well. AJ Barner, Jalen Noel, Alvin Kamara, as long as he's healthy, Devon Vele. I feel like I got a lot of good value out of this back end here. But we'll finish this draft out, and then I'll go through this team, and then we will get out of here. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll say it one more time before we get out of here, but appreciate all the support. Get Deshaun Watson late round. I've been taking Shador a little bit, not too much, but I don't think Watson's playing at the end of the year, barring injury. I think that is going to get very old very fast for a lot of those Cleveland fans, and even though the owner Haslam's trying to push that because they paid him so much money, it's just bad. It's just bad. Darren Waller late, Colby Parkinson. I think he's pretty fun, interesting late round tight end play. I do think that he'll eat into Terrence Ferguson, catch some touchdowns. He's got some weekly touchdown upside. Penix goes. I think Penix is a fine late round pick. Kalen Black off the board here. Emmett Johnson, the rookie, get paired with Jordan James. Both those guys back at practice. Seems like Emmett Johnson is about ready to lock up the RB2 in Kansas City behind Kenneth Walker, which he's had some health issues. So if that happens, that ends up being a good buy there. So we get Penix before Tua. Tua on goes 215. Then Eli Stowers, the rookie second round tight end out of Philly, ends up being Mr. Irrelevant there. So out of the 12 spot, Justin Jefferson, Chase Brown, Javonte, Garrett Wilson, Jadarian Price, Tyler Warren, Jordan Addison, Cortland Sutton. Pair those guys with Kyler and Bo Nix. Get Jalen Coker, Dallas Goedert, Pat Bryant, Jaden Blue, AJ Barner, Devon Vele, Alvin Kamara, and then Jalen Noel here in round 18. So that should do it here. I feel like I nailed at least the back end of the draft pretty well for all the late round stuff. So appreciate everybody tuning in. I'll be back probably sometime tomorrow evening. And then if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'm over on the Twitter machine at Jameson Rules. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, be more than welcome to answer those for you. So appreciate all the support. I hope you all have a good evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.